Hi, I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to another one of my video cartoons for May 8th, 2025. Here today, I have President Trump landing on the White House lawn. In this cartoon here, there is Marine One in the background. He's just gotten off the Marine One helicopter. There it is. See that? Just flew down there. There it is. And he's talking with reporters and stuff. And this is regarding Alcatraz, that the president wants to bring back Alcatraz, the prison there, the Notorious prison. Many years ago, it housed like Machine Gun Kelly, Al Capone, and it has a whiff of strength and power, and at the same time of clamping down on justice. So to President Trump, the money is no object. It's the image of what it stands for. You see, people say, well, you can knock it down, build another prison, be cheaper, but President Trump wants to hold on to that, the ghost. Not I won't say the ghost, but the connotations of Alcatraz. You know, and there was a movie with Burt Lancaster, the Birdman of Alcatraz. Remember, I think his name was Straub, who developed all these birds that he had. He became a very authority on birds. That was a great movie. You should see that. Try to see that. So that gives you a good picture of Alcatraz in the movie. You see what it was like. So here he is. Here is President Trump now, and what I'm saying here is he's here. Alcatraz is just an idea. So he's projecting this, and he's talking about basically he's got two central themes here to his Alcatraz idea. One theme is because of the strongman image that it connotates and brings forth, and the other is the problem that he's having now with Abrego Garcia, in that they want the judges, he calls them the liberal judges, want them to bring him back, and he's put forth a kind of a defense now to stop a secret. It's like a top secret thing. He's claiming some sort of a privilege, that a secret privilege of some nature that entitles him not to divulge any information about what's going on and how he was transported out. Just because, the idea is just saying, well, it's unconstitutional because of the fact that he didn't get due process. It's in the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. You see, so President Trump went here onto you and he showed his knuckles with MS-13. You know, so he brought forth that as but that's really, when you come right down to it, that's circumstantial evidence. You know, I mean, if somebody had MS-13 tattled all over their arms and even on their faces and stuff, I mean, you might not want that person at your bar mitzvah or at a confirmation or whatever. You might not want that person there with all those tattoos with MS-13 all over the place. But it doesn't give you the authority to have him deported and picked up and transported to El Salvador Notorious prison over there. So what President Trump basically wants to do is instead of his transporting, that's a very kind of a very precarious way now, because these liberal judges are getting on his case. So he wants to have a notorious place here in the United States where he could send them to, you see? So that, again, to inspire fear that they won't come here and that they'll obey him, you know? Maybe, you know? So, hey, maybe even the judges too. No, I'm just joking. Don't get nervous. It was just a joke. It was just a joke. So anyway, what I'm saying here is that basically President Trump likes the connotations of Notorious, and El Salvador is going to be off limits, it looks like, because all these liberal judges who are now bringing this up to question, and he's having to defend himself with all kinds of decrees and all kinds of smoke. I call it smoke, that he's putting up, because you can't run from the Constitution. The Constitution is the Constitution of the United States, the Fifth Amendment. That's the thing that cements this whole nation together. That's the cement. That's the building block of our nation, is the Constitution. So once you start saying, oh, this, that, and this, and that, it bypasses this, bypasses that, and you bring in 1789 laws and stuff, the Alien Enemies Act and all that business, you're muddying up the Constitution. Once that's gone, what do you got? What do you got? You got just a power. You got rule by power, and police, and that's all you got. Might makes right. That's what you're left with. After the Constitution, you got one other doctrine. That's might makes right. That replaces the Constitution after that. So that's my thought here. So anyway, this is here, President Trump up here, okay? And he's saying here, open Alcatraz is just an idea I had. And I guess it's because of so many of these radicalized judges. They want to have trials for every single person who came in illegally. That would mean millions of trials. So that's what his rationale is saying. His rationale is to say that. So that in his view, in President Trump's view, is expediency, and justice is expediency. What he considers justice is that these people are basically, I've said it already. So I've given you the picture of that. So this was what I drew here. The Marine One coming in for a landing here, and here was President Trump on the lawn talking to reporters. You see, there he is. You see, and that was that cartoon image that I created here. You see, there it was. I tried to draw it as close as I could get from what I saw. There it was. Okay, now the other cartoon that I have here is Alcatraz. So the other side of the other avenue of President Trump's thinking that this is only a vision that I'm speculating on, that I'm just saying, because, like I said, President Trump had been he started out in the construction business, and then he went into licensing. So this could be, and he does respect these strongman people, even Xi Jinping, President Xi Jinping of China, as much as angry at the conflict that's going on with the tariffs, he's still fun in his heart. He still admires the man for his strength and power of what he did, and he said it many times before. And if you remember when he was at Mar-a-Lago, the delicious chocolate cake, he said President Xi loved that. He said it was the most delicious chocolate cake he ever ate in his whole life, And he was very, very much entertaining President Xi at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago in his first term. So there is an admiration there for leaders that he regards strong, who are authoritarian leaders, and there is that admiration. And in that spirit, I would say to you that hypothetically, it's conceivable that he'd like to license his brand, and his brand here would be the Trump Moscow Alcatraz. Okay, and then if you had another country, it could be the Trump Libya Alcatraz, or it could be or whatever you want to call it, whatever. I'm just thinking up of names, It could be the Trump Madagascar Alcatraz, wherever you want to go with it. And any kind of leader who wants to be that way would be eligible to apply, or the say the Trump Hungary Alcatraz, Hungarian Alcatraz, anywhere. So there you have it. I'm using that as examples here. So there you have, and then I drew Alcatraz here, how it would look, and there's an island right across the way from Moscow, so it'll work out perfectly. Right across the way from the Kremlin, there's an island there, like the Rock. They call it the Rock off of San Francisco Bay. That the real Alcatraz in America, they call that the Rock because it's on a rock and it's elevated here. You see. So this is how it would stand. This is how it would be in Moscow. There's the rock there. There's the water surrounding it, and you have the Trump Moscow Alcatraz. There it is. See, surrounded by water there. There it is. So here is President Putin here. Russian President Putin gets word of this offer, and he's saying here, comrade Comrade Stalin, let's see if Trump will do a licensing good deal for a Trump Moscow Alcatraz on this island just across from our Kremlin. This is Trump's new prison brand, only to strong, qualified leaders like us. There. There you go. Now, I want to say one thing here. President Putin did say that he admires Stalin, but he did say he went over a little too far. He went a little too far at times. And so he's like, President Putin said he's 50-50 on Stalin. He did say he fought World War II. He defeated the Nazis. I read up a lot on President Putin, not as much as I read on President Trump, but I still, and again, as a historian or cartoonist, whatever you want to think of it as, it's interesting. And he did say that he admires Stalin for his victory in World War II over the invading Nazis, and he did. And then on the other hand, he does not. He frowns on some of the things he did after that. So he said it was 50-50. So I want to give President Putin his a fair shake here, And I think I'm giving President Trump a fair shake too, in a way, because this is his thinking here is that money does not matter, even though people are telling him to fix. Let's just assume this was this is the way it looks over here in America. Let's assume they showed us the pictures of it, the bathrooms and everything, what it would take, and the cost is it's like in a real estate view, it's like a knockdown. It's a knockdowner and build up. It's a knockdowner. But President Trump sees beyond the money, and he sees the value in the strength that it conveys. So there you have it. So I want to thank you very much for watching my video. God bless you, and I hope we get peace all over the world in terms of what's going on here with Ukraine. And that's something I don't know what to say about that. And then over there with the situation in Gaza there, and they just I don't know what to say anymore. Just all we can do is pray and hope and write our people. If we don't agree with the policies of what they're supporting, we can just write them letters and make our voices heard. And that's about it. So I leave you with how you take this cartoon, and that's up to you. God bless you. God bless America. And may God watch over all our troops stationed all over the world, many in harm's way. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.